Tomato seed experiment time. This is the third of the series. Hi, I'm Gail, the Gardening Gal, and let's check out how all these tomatoes have done in their various containers. Well, as you can see, our little containers or little tomatoes with the peat pots have not done very well. Needless to say, I am not going to be using any of these plants in my future steps. So let's take a look at the ones that were grown in just a potting soil mix versus the ones that were grown in the biosponge and potting mix. So now it looks like these have done a whole lot better with the biosponge and potting mix, but you have to kind of adjust for the fact that there's a lot less of the mix in here than there is in here. So in other words, the height of the soil. So these are probably about the same, roughly. All right, so what I'm going to do, since these apparently look okay, I'm going to go ahead and plant these little microtoms. And remember, these are orange hats. I'm going to replant the microtoms, and then I'm going to show you on screen what are the advantages and disadvantages of using these two different methods of starting the seed. And remember also, as we get here, this one was also done in the biosponge, and this one was also done in just the straight potting mix. First thing to do is to put holes in the bottom of your container if you don't already have holes in the bottom of it. This is just I think it's a 7 or a 9 ounce plastic cup. These can be reused many times after you clean them out, and you can also then recycle them. But whatever you have, just make sure it has drainage holes on the bottom. So what we need to do is fill it up to about maybe the first line or so of soil. In other words, I want a good amount of soil between where I'm going to put the plant in versus where it's going to end up. All right, here's the one with the biosponge, and I'm going to show you probably the biggest problem with using a biosponge is that I really can't easily transplant both of these. I have to sacrifice one of them because I guess I probably could pull it out of the sponge, but I don't want to risk bothering this one, so sacrifice. All right, take this out, and then I'm just going to gently squeeze it and do this over a surface that you can clean up easily. You can see that we've got some pretty good roots here from the biosponge with soil falling out all over the place. So what is going to happen is I'm just going to place it in here, and then I'm going to put some potting soil around it. So the question then becomes, what kind of potting soil am I using? In this particular case, it is, I'll have to put the list, I'll have to put it in the description section below, but Coast of Maine is what I want to say, and this stuff is really, really nice. I did add a little bit of vermiculite to it, but that's just because something I prefer to do. Vermiculite's going to give it a little bit of aeration and also help with the moisture retention. All right, so here we go. I am keeping it to a little bit below the surface. If I want to go ahead and add a little bit more soil, I can at a later time. But when I water this in, this may end up sinking a little bit. Then all I need to do is take this label, and I'm just going to put biosponge. So we know what this container is. I could have written it on here, but if I want to reuse this container, I don't want biosponge to be on it. So here we go. That should be okay. It's not quite dry yet because I did find my cheapy acrylic paint pen. So again, great for labels. So here we go with the BioSponge. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our tomato that was in just the straight potting mix, or straight seed starting mix, I should say. Okay, here are the orange hats that I have in just the plain seed starting mix. I'll say that right. Okay, so I've got 2 in here, and the advantage of doing it in the plain seed starting mix is that I can go ahead and transplant both of them individually if I want, so I can separate them more easily. But let's see what the root systems look like on this one. So I'm just, instead of pulling it up, I'm just going to cut the cup away. Okay, the root system looks pretty good on this one as well. So let's see that a little bit better. So what I might do is, I think I actually will go ahead and put these in 2 separate containers. So what I will do is separate them as gently as I can. And let's see, the roots look about the same. So I'm going to take this one and put it in here. Yeah, I know I'm not being as gentle as I probably should be, but let me go ahead and put more soil in this, and then let me repot this guy. All right, here they are, all 5 of them nestled in their little containers. I do have them in something that will catch some water if need to when I water them. And by the way, I did give them a water, but you don't need to necessarily have it fully wet at this point, because the roots aren't going down that deep yet. Anyway, so these are not the final LED light setup that I want to have. Thanks to Winter Storm Izzy, that was a little bit delayed. If you live in the United States, you know who Izzy is. Anyway, so we'll be back in another week or so, and we will see how, what is the difference? Are there any difference between the BioSponge and the regular starting mix? Any advantages, disadvantages? We will see then, and we'll also see the difference between our orange hat tomatoes and our little micro toms. Let's see if they did any catch-up. Anyway, I will see you next time, and this is Gail, Gardening Gal, saying have yourself a great day. Bye.